Good morning, everybody. 010 Podcast with Dr. Josi and Andi. And today we have a special guest. His name is Bill Brien. And I've known Bill. How long, Bill? How long have we known each other?
When you had that daycare back in the early 80s on 13th Street over there, I think I was a client then.
Oh, yes. All right, what are you implying? What are you implying? I'm old?
No, I think it was right before COVID, maybe, or
yeah, somewhere around
2019 or 18, 19, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, Bill and I met through Karma Vita in a couple of different ways. And then we were a networking group together. And Bill is the creator of a business called Bountiful Rays, among other things that he is as a human, but that's one of the things that brought us together. And so we've invited Bill today to talk a little bit about his business and his story. And he's got a great story and his journey. So Bill, why don't you tell us, let's start off with what the name of your business, Bountiful Rays. How did that come about?
The word Bountiful Rays, the word bountiful came from a movie. My uncle had, one of my dad's brothers had, he had passed away, over 10 years ago, I believe. And he was a part-time actor in California. And one of his wishes before he had passed was to act one more time. And that movie was called Bountiful. I think his friend, his name, Paul Winters, I think he just completed the movie, actually. So that is where the title Bountiful came from. And then Rays, REI''S, Ray was my wife's middle name. So those two words coming together to form the company name.
Awesome. That's awesome. And doesn't Ray have a different meaning also? I mean, it represents your wife's middle name in your business, but doesn't it have a meaning too?
It was just meant when you think of a ray, you think of some type of light or some type of beam, that illuminates, our mind or a path before us, or, it's used in that context, Yes, it's her middle name, but it's also meaning like a guiding type of light in the journey of life in general. But in this case, it would have been like a grief journey for myself and our family.
Right, because your business came about after your wife passed away. Is that correct?
No, it came before. It started just with a simple idea of in 2015, maybe. It was just an idea. I had wanted to take artwork, not me in particular, but use other artists' artwork to share a story about life. My dad's an artist, so I had asked him to do a couple drawings or something. And I just basically wanted to do like t-shirts or something, but I had no clue how to go about it. So it got to the point where I didn't have any artwork from anybody really. And there really wasn't much traction in the beginning. So it wasn't until probably 2017 when I started actually just drawing myself. I started sketching, and that was the beginning of the Bountiful Rays. I didn't really I had t-shirts and jackets in the beginning, but the main focus was still for Jerry, getting her to her appointments and tests and chemo and all of that. So this was just kind of on the back end of the free time that I had, that I would work on the company stuff. And so it was very small, just shirts and hoodies in the beginning. And then after she had passed, May 1st of 2018, that's kind of when I dove headfirst into it, because there was no more doctor's appointments. There was no more and there was nothing left. There was nothing for me for what I knew as a caregiver. Everything was centered around helping Jerry, from getting up to helping her bathe and shower and getting her meds ready. And so to go from that to like have nothing for my day or time, that's kind of when I kind of transitioned to go into full time of just creating and designing. And so that was the start.
Hmm. That's powerful. My goodness. So, did you feel like you knew what you wanted to be creating at the time then, or did that shift after the fact?
So a lot of my art consists of, I'm Native American. I'm an enrolled member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa, but I grew up on my mom's side, where she is from Spirit Lake, which is Dakota um, country there. I didn't use, I guess, so I started basically on a humanistic level. Just I didn't see different colors. I didn't see different backgrounds. I just saw that we were all humans. We're all God's children, if I can say that. And that's where it started, because witnessing my wife and how she endured and lived and suffered, I connected to that just on a basic human level. And then where the culture side comes in, I found the beauty within my own culture to share that love that I experienced with my wife, just on that human level of connection. So, not culture, not race, nothing. I connected just on that human level with my wife, with love and caring, all of that good stuff. And then the difficult things with suffering and pain that she would endure and go through. And then I found the beauty in my own native culture to share that experience, what I went through with my wife, so that all of my designs are representative of my Ojibwe side and my Dakota side.
Hmm. Very cool.
Do you find that just because you brought this up, and I know obviously I follow we're friends on Facebook, and I follow your page and everything, and you go to a lot of shows that are culturally for Native Americans, correct? But do you find that is that your main clientele, or do you find that people of all different colors and nationalities and cultures embrace your artwork?
It's pretty much cross-cultural, and the entire gambit of whatever background you're from has embraced the designs and the artwork that I've created. But in the realm of, terms of business, I do frequent powwows and conferences, but these powwows and conferences also bring not just natives, but others as well, to these venues. And I can share my story through that, but also word of mouth has been huge. I'll get messages and stuff hearing from other people that it saw a skirt or a art piece that I did, and then the story resonates with them. Because basically, in life, we're born, we live, and we do pass away. So we connect to that. None of us can get away from that. We all connect to it. And so we can all relate, because we've all lost someone dear to us, whether a spouse, a parent, a child, whoever it is. And it's a difficult experience to go through, because there is loss, there's pain, there's crying, there's all of that. And we all relate to it in some way, shape, or form. And I think that's what speaks to people, because the designs and the artwork give a physical manifestation of the emotional side, the emotional spectrum. So I focus the clothing that I offer, it embodies that whole emotional story of what I went through and what our family went through. But and then people will relate to that. So wearing a skirt gives them that physical connection to the emotional side of everything.
Are people telling you their story and then you're creating pieces, or are you creating pieces and they are?
People do share. I meet a lot of cancer survivors, not just, women that have had breast cancer or that are battling breast cancer, but other cancer stories. And it's not even, there's stories also that aren't just cancer related, just people that will share that, they lost somebody, whether it was an accident or, just however they may have lost somebody. And it's just that connection, I think. When there's two people in the same room that have similar stories, they can connect in a way that where they don't feel alone, because a lot of the grief likes to make us feel alone, that nobody is experiencing what we are, but there's a million people experiencing it. But grief likes to isolate us. Grief likes to think nobody understands, it's just me, and that's you feel alone. But again, with this story, with the clothing and the artwork, it's meant to provide, hope in the midst of grief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. That's very true. Like the isolation piece, I feel that can bring it together. On your face, I need to start following your stuff. On your Facebook page, do people share stories there, or is it mainly just your
Um,
work?
I get I do share the story that me and Jerry and our family has gone through with the cancer and things related to that. But that took a lot to share. So I believe there are people that do share their story as well on social media. But I think the majority of people still internalize it, and it's still very personal to them.
Yeah.
And they don't, and a lot won't feel they don't want to share, and that's totally okay, because it took a lot, like I said, for me to come out and share it myself. But once I shared it's become a lot easier to share other aspects that have come from sharing the story. Uh, but others I've found, like I said, they haven't shared, or they. But I guess going back to your question, sorry.
It's okay.
Others haven't shared on my social media,
Yeah.
which is fine. It's totally okay that nobody is sharing, because that's their story, that's their journey. And when they feel they want to open up more about it, I find they'll open up more if they meet me somewhere. And that's where I hear a lot of the stories is from other people that come and stop by my booth, or they'll email me and they share that way, which is still good. Sharing is really good. You can't isolate those feelings and let them fester and let them not have an outlet.
Right.
Okay, so you mentioned skirts. I see your t-shirt today and your hat. What all different types of ways do you share your art? And I have some of your
Um,
pieces. You've gifted me some of your pieces over the years, which I am proud to I have some in my home. Karma Vita has some up in there on their walls. So you have art pieces, you have skirts, you have t-shirts, you have hats. What all kinds of things do you have?
I have tote bags. I have stickers. I do some dresses from time to time. I do men's dress wear, men's dress t-shirts, art prints. I do kind of just I kind of go with what I'm feeling sometimes. Like I'll do makeup bags for a little bit and then I'll stop. Or like I'll do hats. I have hats coming back again, So in it again, I'm a small business, so it's tough I hear a lot of good ideas. A lot of people recommend things or different types of clothing or something, and I'd love to do that stuff. But again, from a business perspective, everything costs. You have to have backing, financial backing. You have to have that working capital. And as a small single business owner, that it comes and goes. So I have to be very mindful of what I'm ordering, how much I'm getting, and how much stuff that I'm offering, at any one time, because I do have a small inventory of it when I go to shows and I travel. And so that, yeah, I guess that's how the new things are. And then, I do have like shorts, trunks is kind of the new avenue I've gone into, because that's such a huge, again, in fashion, you have to follow the trends, you have to follow the colors of the season, all of that. It's never ending. Nobody will ever know everything about fashion because it's always changing. And so shorts, I guess, would be the newest thing that I'm venturing into.
So your shirt, it looks like, is kind of a screen print, and then is your hat,
Yeah,
right? And then your hat's, is it embroidered?
correct. It's
So you
embroidered.
have,
So
you do like a bunch of different textiles in a way. It's not
I
just
do.
one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so the hat design it's an Ojibwe Anishinaabe floral design. So these flowers you'll see, like at a powwow, for example, you'll see a lot of this similar floral on the dancer's regalia. You'll see it in beadwork or an applique type form. You can also see it in like porcupine quill work. So a lot of the designs I use have a very deep historical context within the tribes that I'm from.
Okay. And do you do beadwork then too when you're talking the skirts and stuff, or
Um,
is
I
it?
do not. I do
Yeah.
not do any traditional like beadwork or porcupine quill work. What I try to do is emulate that stuff in some of my designs. So I will use like dots to create patterns, floral patterns to emulate beadwork. So it'll look like beadwork, but it's not beadwork.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely people need to jump on your website and see what all you've got on there. I did a quick scroll through, but it's very colorful. I love it. So bright.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You mentioned that your dad is an artist. Are there other artists in your family? Like, is that something that kind of is that a talent that runs through the family?
Yeah, my uncle does some amazing porcupine quill work. They'll actually take the quills of the porcupine and they'll dye them certain colors, and then they'll create whatever is on there, whatever they can imagine. Then my dad does all kinds of mediums he works in, and there's some musicians on my dad's side as well. So it runs in there. I
Yeah.
haven't think I had a knack for anything artistic, I guess. It wasn't until, like, I don't want to say I'm lazy by nature, but um if I didn't it took what Jerry went through to open up something that I didn't know was there. So I didn't do art just to do art for art's sake. I did it as a way to, I guess, find myself, find some type of meaning, and sharing what Jerry went through. So yeah, it took what Jerry went through to unlock something in me that I didn't know was there.
That's I think that's how life should be. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
how we should find, and I'm not saying through the loss, but I'm saying, I think if you're open to what Josie and I talk about flow a lot, life will flow and take you where it's supposed to take you. And it sounds like that's what happened with you, is that, you
Yeah,
just you allowed life to take you where it was supposed to take you.
Yeah, that's a good summary of basically of what I was trying to get out or trying to say.
Said it
But
beautifully.
I also realize that we're all artists in some way. People that can remodel a home, people that can reshingle, people that bake from people. Cooking's an art form. All we're surrounded by art. I guess I just didn't realize it, or I wasn't in tune with that type of dynamic, before Jerry got sick and everything.
Josie made the beautiful background that's behind her, right? Josie, didn't you make that?
I wish I could take credit for this. No, my mom did. Close
Well,
enough. But
Oh,
I was just gonna say that I think now more than ever, this authentic art, people creating from their hands again is what people are seeking because there's so much not made by a human anymore, right? Like,
correct.
yeah. So yeah, I think this art form, I think people are starting to appreciate it again. Even I don't know if it's even more, but it's more noticed, I guess, by I know I do. I look at things way different than I used to. I don't know. That's
I think that comes with age as
I
well.
was gonna say that, but then I was like, maybe not. I don't know.
Not in a joking type of way, because we all do get older and grow older, and our view of
the
the
gift,
world changes.
right? But Bill, I mean, what you and I have gone through, and Josie, and we all go through that, and we learn it's a gift to grow
Yes.
older. So you're right; it's not a joke. I mean, we can be lighthearted about it, but how blessed are we to have to to be able to grow older?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. Getting older is a gift. Getting older is a blessing,
Yes.
because a lot of our loved ones, some of them weren't blessed with that gift. So,
Right. So
Right.
what were you doing before the Bountiful Rays?
I had worked construction
Okay.
most of my life, but then I found a really good job. I worked at Bismarck Motor Company, up in North Bismarck, from 2014 to 2020 or 2021. I
Okay.
worked with them as a service advisor. It was an amazing job. It was high stress sometimes, but I learned a lot from that, and I was able to use what I've learned from there to translate into what I do now. Because when you greet people, greeting them right when they walk in the door, smiling, saying hello, all of that stuff, customer service. So I learned a lot of amazing things. Plus, they were there, with my family when we endured through all of that. And so you can tell a good company by how they stand by their employees, and they stood by us. Same with my wife's company that she was working for. They stood by her and us, through those trying times. So they're amazing company too. So that's what I was doing before
Hmm.
uh, I started designing and stuff.
Where do you see your company headed?
I would love for it to grow. For now, it's just me still, and I've laid quite a bit of groundwork, I think. But again, business, it takes capital. You got to have, and I think I'm just, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm waiting. I don't want to wait, but most of us don't want to wait. But just waiting, I guess, for another like-minded business person to help me, because a strength, even though it seems like I'm admitting to a weakness, I'm not. I can't do it all. I can't run my business. I can't create. I can't do 100% of everything. And I realized that. And before I thought I had to. But I realized that I'm not. I'm strong in business in some ways, but in some ways I'm not even close. Because I want to still create, I want to still design everything, and I still do, but kind of everything, the business is taking me in all these different directions, and I realize that I need to hopefully find somebody, you know, to help take that next step in growing and whatnot. So
Yeah, it's you're using one side of your brain for creation and then needing to switch to come over to do
uh,
inventory. It's like, yeah,
yes.
hard to do. Yeah, makes sense.
It's
What
hard
do
to
you,
do, but I've watched you over the years. You've grown your business beautifully. And um, as an example, you were only doing um, like wall art when you and I were networking together. What made you decide to branch off into clothing?
Uh, I guess, well, before the art, I did t-shirts and jackets right before, but I wasn't too serious about it. I thought that I had to be like strictly artist, but then it always stuck in my head though, like when I ventured into like past just t-shirts and jackets into the actual realm of women's fashion, which was a huge, scary step. I had asked others their input, their insights, because I didn't really know what I was getting into because I knew, fashion in general is scary, but to venture into it, I had to leap into it. What stuck with me was when Jerry would put on a new dress or a new skirt, her face would light up, and that always stuck with me. She felt like a woman again. She would fix her hair, do her makeup. We'd go out to eat just to feel normal again, for an hour or two. And that stuck with me. Like a lot of things she did stuck with me, but that in particular. And so I wanted to capture that and share that with others, especially women. So when they wear a dress or a skirt they get from me, they can smile and feel that strength in that from that design and the story.
Mhm. That's beautiful. I had just listened to a podcast not too long ago about women's fashion, and it was interesting because, yes, it goes all over the place, right? Like, I mean, it's changing so, so much. And it was all about just what you put on to feel good in it, you know? It's not,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's like you don't want to take the external world to like make you different, but like it was how it can do that. Clothes can do that for you and
Oh,
builds
definitely,
that strength
100%.
in you. Yeah. It was really, really neat. And I love fashion, so I'm all about it. I get it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I enjoy it too. It's learning the colors and because since I'm such a small business, I wish I could offer a gambit of colors and designs and but I have to strategically pick certain colors like blue or beige. Black is timeless. Black will never go out of style. Even though I get tired of black, it's a color you have to always have
Yeah.
in a new design every season, twice a year, three times a year, something in black that's new. But beige, I think as of now, beige is like the color that's been in for like a while now, actually. And blue, any shade of blue is huge. So those are like my colors that I stick to. I do purple and I do some like bright red sometimes, but those are the three colors that I kind of stick with.
Hmm. Nice.
Tell us, tell us a little bit about your personal life. Because I think it lends to just who you are as a human being. You have children and you have grandchildren, correct?
Yes, I have two daughters and I have a son. He's recently finished his first year of college, so he's back home now. I guess my oldest daughters, they're out, you know, living life, figuring life out. I do take care of a grandson, though. He's 7 years old. He will be 8. I've been taking care of him since he's been 3. So it's like uh, raising children 2.0 kind of thing. I didn't realize, being as old as I am, I'll be 46 this year. I'm going to parent teacher conferences again, and just doing that whole raising a child again, which is amazing. My grandson, both my grandchildren have helped me so much as a grandpa, but as just a person. Watching them, the things they say, how they just play. They don't have a care in the world sometimes. They're in the moment. And that's things we can learn from, as a child. We can learn from them to be in the moment, to be carefree at times as an adult. And it's okay to do that, because I think we lose that, especially business owners. We get go, go, go. No time for rest, no time for eat, no time for self-care. And that all catches up to us. And so, yeah, the two grandkids, love them to death. They came into this world at a time when Jerry left this world. Jerry passed, I said, May 1st of 2018. Our granddaughter was born May 19th of 2018. And then Jerry would have turned 40 July 14th of 2018. And then our grandson was born July 28th of 2018. So just two of those dates, when she had passed, a grandchild was born, and then when her birthday would have been, a grandson was born. So
yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting when what you had mentioned about, being in the moment and being present, and how we kind of forget that when we're so busy as business owners. And Josie and I can understand that. But also when you go through grief, it's hard to be present, and it's hard to find joy in the things that children remind us how important it is to find joy in the littlest things that we forget. And that's really, to me, that has been something that I've been focused on through my grief, is just to make sure that I don't forget to find the joy in everything, joy in all things. There truly is. And even in grief, and even in the loss, there's joy. We just need to find it, and so I love that you have children in your life to remind you of that. And I'm sure it's not easy raising a grandchild at 46 years old, but it's a blessing too, right? Yeah, it's a huge blessing. And I have a lot of respect for you for doing that. So, and running a business and all of the things, right? Wearing all of the hats.
Yes.
Yeah. Josie, do you have anything else you'd like to ask Bill?
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like we've covered a lot of things. It was wonderful meeting you. It's been
great. I guess I could touch. I guess since people will see the clothing and they'll maybe question some of the designs and whatnot, I can just give a little brief history on the designs that I do use. So for my Dakota side, I use a lot of, it'll be like ledger type art, ledger art arose out of a time when there was a lot of turmoil going on. And it grew, basically, you'll create art on discarded ledger paper. They'll create battle scenes or scenes from home. And so I use that type of artwork in a lot of my designs as well. But I mainly use Dakota floral. So the floral is representative of our understanding that we have a relationship with God or the Creator. So the floral designs are, again, going back to, they're a physical representation that we understood. We knew that we were all connected to the land, to the world around us. So I use Dakota floral, and I use a lot of this Ojibwe Anishinaabe floral. And all of this was used by our ancestors on clothing, on everyday items, even on teepees as well. So And that's just, again, a relationship. And it also represents plant medicine. We knew what plants to use for certain things. And that, again, that's all connected culturally together. So
Is that something that you do? Do you know plants like that?
I do know some of the plants that, like there's echinacea, there's goldenrod, all of these plants you can use to create salves or teas or other ointments to help with certain ailments and everything. So, but no, I'm not a practitioner of of knowing everything, of collecting things and all of that stuff. So I'm not a practitioner of traditional medicine at all. So just from researching and using art, you learn kind of some of these things, just you pick them up along the way and stuff. So
Sure.
That's awesome.
Well, anything else you want to leave us with, Bill?
When's your next event? Where are you headed next?
I'm going to Kansas this weekend. So I'll be going to a graduation powwow down there, and be my second year going. I had a really wonderful time last year, so it was on my list again to go back. So I'm looking forward to it.
Do you just drive to all of these then? Because you have to take all your stuff?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've learned to pack a car really well. I use every space that you
Right.
can. You don't need a spare tire. Take that out. There's more room. No, I'm just kidding. Never travel without
I
a spare
would probably do that. So not smart.
tire.
Awesome.
Well, good luck in Kansas and travel safely through all your travels. And it was nice to catch up with you.
Thank you both so much. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great week.
Can you
Thanks,
share real quick what your Facebook and your website are for our listeners?
Yeah. So I'm on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, or Insta, or IG as the kids say. And it's my company name, Bountiful Rays, REI apostrophe S. Or Instagram, it's all one word. TikTok's all one word, but it's Bountiful Rays, 2 words for Facebook. And then I have a website, www.bountifulrays.com.
Okay. Perfect.
Great way to end. Thank you so much.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.